I have to say that for me, the greatest benefit of going to regional conferences like the AMERC one in Mombasa is the sort of bilateral relationships, bilateral initiatives that can come up, like here between Kenya and Zambia. And I'm hoping that this is only but the start of what could be a long relationship between us, and indeed that in due course we may even sign a memorandum of understanding between our two securities commissions. Let me just maybe also give a brief history of the capital markets of Zambia. We got established in 1993 by the promulgation of the Securities Act 1993 of the laws of Zambia. And so we are a few years younger than you. But having said that, from what I know about the capital markets in Kenya, we are also quite a few years, much more years behind in terms of developing capital markets. So we are here to learn as much as we can. But what we do mostly in Zambia with the capital markets is registration of primary issuances, be they IPO or corporate debt, and corporate restructurings, approving the same. But we also obviously do overall prudential and market conduct of the capital markets of the country. We have oversight of that. Now, you can actually say that our capital markets have remained in an essence stage for the last few years. And in my view, that's understandable, because the vision of the founders of the capital markets and the capital markets regulation in our country had exactly that vision, to establish the capital markets in the country. And I think for that they did a good job. What is required now is to take the capital markets to a new level. This requires transformation at many levels. At one level, we need to transform the laws that govern the capital markets, and in this regard, we're looking at a new bill that will be hopefully promulgated into law very soon. We're also looking at putting in place a new strategy, and the expediency in coming to see you here this time is also informed by the fact that we want as much input from yourselves as possible to go into our strategic planning. One of the reforms as well is to look into a new structure for the stock exchange. You mentioned demutualization. We think we should go the same route because a demutualized exchange, I think, will give the market much more confidence, and the player will be able to treat it more seriously than they do at the moment. But specifically, our being here this morning is informed by what you've alluded to already. The success that you have in the bond market. You mentioned that you are the second in Africa. I presume that is second to South Africa. I hope I'm not trading on dangerous territory when I say that I think you're not the second largest economy in Africa. But to then have the accolade of having the second largest bond market, I think is a very big achievement. And congratulations to you. And that is something that we want to learn from. We think that the pools of funds that we have, be they private or institutional, if they could be mobilized and pushed into infrastructure bonds, for instance, pushed into corporate debt for financing business activities, that will go a long way to boosting the economy of our country, Zambia. Also, just that if we had a much more robust, much more vibrant bond market, we would have a reference point from a pricing point of view. You mentioned the yield curve. You'd have a much more benchmarked, much more reliable yield curve that would act as a reference point for pricing. So we think that the development of the bond market in our country is of crucial and critical importance. And for that, we are very keen to learn as much as we can from what you've done here. From indications we have so far, you've put together a very comprehensive and very tight program. It's one that we think fits with what we're looking for. In fact, actually, it goes beyond what we're expecting.